So most people don't distinguish between the markets. I've hear a lot of people who are new in the business say, my client is anybody who has a dirty carpet. All right? Hear that all the time. They soon learn that that doesn't work so well. They don't distinguish there. So do you attract the wrong customers? And this is a way that you would know that something about your marketing isn't working well if you have a business that's established. Is they start asking questions when they call on the phone and they ask, how much do you charge? If that's a common question. Now, a lot of times people will ask that question because they don't know what else to ask. That's just to kind of break the ice and get the conversation going. But if price is their number one concern, how many of you are looking for people who are looking for the lower price? Yeah. Anybody? Who's looking for a mid-range or below priced consumer? Now, there's nothing wrong with that because that's what you need when you're starting out to build that base, to fill their schedule. But you want to then have a plan of how we're going to get out of that, and I'm going to show you the numbers of why that is so important. If they're calling up and you just hear way too much, the emphasis is on price, and as soon as you see your price, if they hang up, write you a bad review, you go, that's kind of the wrong person. And then how soon can you get here? What's that an indicator of? What's that?
Urgency.
Urgency, absolutely. So who are urgent?
People that never call again.
Yeah, they don't call again. It's the people who don't have carpets cleaned on a regular basis. They have no problem waiting 7, 14 years. And then they call up and say, how soon can you get here?
There's an event.
Why is that?
There's an event coming
There's an
up.
event.
An event. The mother-in-law is coming. Yeah, their feet do stick to the carpets a little bit, and that was fine for all these years, but now mom is not going to like this. They're going to see the little grandchild sticking to the carpet, and that's not good. So got to get a carpet cleaner, and they're in a hurry because do they plan ahead for this? No. So it is like, how soon can you get there? And how you market, if you're trying to get that type of consumer, is you want to focus your attention on, I can help you out. Matter of fact, same-day service. That would be a big headline if you want to have that kind of a consumer. Do you enjoy cleaning trashed out carpet? Now, I've taught a lot of carpet cleaning classes, and I hear people come and they'll show me this picture of the before and after, and I go, you even tried to save that thing? And sometimes it's amazing what they do, but they wow, I'm good. You know, they're proud of that. And they should be, because that really, they did perform a miracle. That wasn't how I like to spend my day. So if you're having a lot of trashed out carpets, are they having them maintained and cleaned on a regular basis? No. So that's, again, they waited way too long. And then has your business stopped growing? In other words, have you plateaued? Have you been at the same gross sales for the last 3 years? Then there's probably something wrong with your marketing. Maybe you've jumped up to a gear that's too high and it's at a bad place. If you're not having steady growth, that's not a good sign. So there are 3 categories of consumers. Now, I'm not sure, how many of you guys have heard this since I've, talked to you guys for hours and hours, these that have been my clients. But it's good I'm going to give you some background information that I think a lot of you maybe have never heard or thought about. And the more you know about the consumers out there, it will be easier for you to communicate with them if you understand who's who, where are they. All right? So there's a major group of consumers who will never in their life call a professional carpet cleaner. Does anybody know what percentage of the population here?
85.
85? No? No?
Oh, now that's changed.
What is it?
60.
60%. And that has been consistent for 30 years. I want to explain this because that seems like an incredibly high number, but some of those people don't own the place. And the carpets will be cleaned when they move out. So that becomes under a management company who's going to take that responsibility. Or it could be a person who does it themselves. Or they may not have carpet at all, which is a growing amount. I was talking to one person up on North Bay, and he says, yeah, it's a very successful business. He says his carpet cleaning, his wall-to-wall carpet cleaning is under 10% of his over. And I say, you doing restoration? And he says, no, it's doing draperies, it's doing rugs, it's doing a lot of upholstery. But nobody has, and I don't think they do hard surfaces. But he's in a nice area, so that's kind of where it's going. So that seems strangely high, but that really is a pretty accurate. So the people I found, used to find somebody who cleans these trashed out carpets, they will say, oh, I did such an impressive job, and they said, that's the best they've ever looked. I'm going to call you back next year. Put me on your reminder cards. When do they call again?
7 or 8 years.
Yeah, they would, straight whatever it was before. They're creatures of habit. They're going to fall into a routine, and they do it all the time. I found carpet cleaners used to try to persuade them to have their carpets cleaned more frequently. That just doesn't work well. What you want to do is realize how often do these people have their carpets cleaned, and whatever they give you as an answer. And the way I did it, that's one of the first questions I asked over the phone. First one generally is, how did you hear about me? And then pretty much the next one is, how long has it been since your carpets were cleaned last? And whatever they tell you at that point, unless they said they replaced the carpets in the last couple of years, that's going to give you the framework about how often they're going to have them cleaned. And then that starts to tell you how to approach them. If it's been over 5 years, you know you have a shopper type situation. So what percentage goes to people who are only going to have their carpets cleaned somewhere between 1 to 9 times during their entire life? 25?
15?
15? Any other numbers? 35. There we go. We got 30% fall into that category as a shopper. Because do these people, because that means they're having their carpets cleaned less than every 3 years. And some of these people are having them cleaned every 40 years. So somewhere in between there, all right? So they're going to be that event motivated. Something caused them to suddenly say, oh, my carpets are dirty. And so that's the event motivated. So the final one, do the math, what's left? That's 10%. What we want are those 10%. Now, if you're brand new in business, you got to start with that middle group. Because you got to build up, you got to fill your schedule, you have to be producing some money so you can pay your bills. And once you get a base, then I found that I got a lot of quality customers from referrals from shoppers. Because shoppers know people who take care of their place and have money. And if you do a good, impressive job, they'll say, oh, I found a great carpet cleaner. And those people are going to be very interested in hearing it. So you're going to get your referrals from that middle group because they talk to more people than just their own there. So, but you got to build that if you're brand new in business.